Welcome back to Rise with Sonia, where we bring you conversations that inspire growth, leadership, and community impact. Today, I'm honored to be joined by Raj Sodhi, a banking professional and someone deeply committed to public service. Raj has built a successful career in banking while also stepping forward serving her community through civic engagement, including her run for the city council. Recently returning from India, she brings a unique perspective on culture and the opportunities and the challenges facing our communities both here and abroad. Welcome to Rise with Sonia, Raj.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Who may not know you, tell us about your journey and what brought you into banking.
So I was born and raised in England. I'm the oldest of 5 children. Mm-hmm. My mom was only 16 when she was married, so my dad was 20, a girl, firstborn. Grateful to have my grandparents around us. My bua lived nearby and had a beautiful family life with aunts and uncles all around us. And then in 1981, my dad decided to move his family, 5 children, and his wife to Atwater, California.
Oh, okay.
The land of opportunity. So my dad did run a convenience store, and he banked at a local bank. And the 3 women that were in charge of this branch inspired me. Atwater at the time was very, very busy with Castle Air Force Base.
Right.
And it took me quite a while to land a job at Guarantee Savings at the time. In fact, I had to go to banking school in Modesto, and I was relentless in calling, and finally I was hired at the age of 18.
What values were instilled in you growing up and that guide you to make your decisions today?
So watching my grandparents work hard.
Yeah.
And then watching my parents, and then culturally, hard work, right, is instilled in who we are.
Yeah.
And to think of God every day when you wake up and when you go to bed, and then seva, right, which is service to our community. Those 3 things, even today, are with me on a daily basis.
Looking back, what has been the biggest lesson from your professional journey?
Work hard because you never know who's watching.
Yeah.
I have been so blessed to have people as managers that saw something in me, that saw that hard work, and I was asked to post for positions.
Yeah.
My grandfather always said, work hard because you never know who's watching. And I can truly say that in my career, that has benefited me.
Right.
And be honest,
Yeah.
but work hard.
You spent years in banking. What are some of the biggest financial mistakes you see people making?
One of the biggest mistakes is, when it comes to the business community, is having the proper financials. We've got some small business owners that don't really do monthly balance sheets or profit and loss statements, or they only want to go visit their CPA or bookkeeper once a year, which works for some but not for all. And then when it comes time to actually apply for a loan, the quality of those financials are crucial in helping not only a loan officer but an underwriter make a decision that's going to benefit the business owner.
What should every young professional know about managing money?
Every young professional, if they are working for a company that offers a 401k plan and they match, whether it's 3% or 4%, whether you think you can't afford it or not, I cannot impress upon young people to take advantage of that matching. Because I think when we're young, we don't think about getting old. We don't think about 30, 40 years down the road, and you will be shocked to see how much money, if you start in your mid-20s, what that little bit will grow to.
How important is building relationships versus simply focusing on transactions?
Building relationships is crucial. I could tell you a story of when I worked at Union Bank, and I got to know the children of my clients, right? Little boys. And then fast forward 10, 20 years, and now those little boys are now grown men, and they have their own lives and businesses and financial needs. So I've always been about relationships. Because, as I said earlier, I'm shocked that people 3 or 4 years later will call me, even though perhaps I didn't help them 3 or 4 years ago, they called me to help them refinance.
What habits separate people who build wealth from those who constantly struggle financially?
I think when we're younger, we want to keep up with the Joneses, right? And we want the big house, we want the fancy cars. All of those things, as you grow older, decade by decade, mean less and less. And so I see people living way beyond their means, right? I think everyone needs to look at their monthly budget. People need to have extra money to enjoy life, go on vacation. Life can't all be about money, but we also come from a culture that wants to be successful, and they see other people's success. And my mom always used to say, don't look up, look down, because there will always be people that have way more than you do. However, on the flip side, there are many, many people that have so much less than we do. And so to be grateful for what we have. But I see that. I see, back in the day when Subway sandwiches, I'll use Subway sandwiches as an example, or gas stations and liquor stores. And that's hard work. That's 7 days a week, sometimes 12 and 13 hours a day. Being a truck driver is not easy. And things have become so expensive here in California.
Inflation is at its max.
Yeah, and interest rates are high. So I think to be patient and watch the markets and know when is the right time to buy. Easier said than done. But everything does come in cycles, right? Interest rates are up and down, perhaps. And as you know, in housing. So being a smart
investor.
Yes, absolutely. Easier said than done, though.
What advice would you give to small business owners trying to grow in today's economy?
As I said, nothing is easy, right? So you have to have a plan. I'm really impressed with the new immigrants because they have absolutely no fear and they want to succeed. As my family, as we all did 45 years ago, I've come across many individuals that have 2 or 3 side businesses. But again, interest rates have gone up. Be smart. Perhaps use the home equity that you have rather than paying that higher interest rate. Find out what your local city and county have available in low interest rate loans. They might be small amounts, but anything, every little dollar counts, right?
So you say city or county. Do they have funding available?
They do for startups, for especially during COVID, as you know, there were a lot of programs available. But if you go to the City of Fresno website, there are programs available. I know that PG&E puts out programs to help people with their monthly electricity bills. So I think it's very important to be aware of what your local city and county have to offer when it comes to programs.
When you said they're low amounts, like what are we talking?
It could be $10,000 to help you redo, the front of your building, or it might be monies to help you with the air conditioning, or they might small amounts, but as I said, they add up.
You made the decision to run for city council. What inspired you to step into public service?
So I've been very blessed and fortunate that the banking industry really promoted community involvement. So I was heavily involved in Rotary, which is an international organization. The Boys and Girls Clubs of Fresno County, to serve on boards, and was on the Sikh Women's Organization board for almost 15 years. And then my interest started towards city politics, and then I served on Mayor Lee Brand's faith-based partnership cabinet,
Okay.
served on the planning commission, and then I realized that I was intrigued, and so went through the Chamber's Leadership Fresno program, which I highly recommend to anyone
What is
looking
that?
into. It's a 9-month program through
Okay.
the Fresno Chamber of Commerce, where one day a month for 9 months, you go into different industries, perhaps healthcare, perhaps law enforcement. And the chamber brings, like, for education, they brought in the superintendents of schools. So you're exposed to the highest level
Right.
of personnel in that specific industry.
Got it.
And I wish I had done that program many, many, many years ago. I completed that in 2018.
Got it.
And so it gives you a really good overview of all of these different industries. And then the class itself has to do a class project. And so, you've got a lot of A-type personalities in that. And then you end up with a community project to benefit the community. And during my year, we tried to tackle homelessness.
Got it.
Yeah.
Was that successful?
It was successful because we were able to educate people rather than give your spare change, if you will.
Right.
There are many agencies in Fresno that could use that spare change. I mean, we have a lot of need in our community.
Right.
We're one of the poorest counties in the nation. So we do have a lot of nonprofits where they can use those donations at a much larger scale.
What did that experience teach you about leadership?
First of all, it's a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
And so I commend anyone
Who does
that
it? Yeah.
that wants to run for office, whether it's local level or state level and beyond. I wouldn't say that I learned a lot about leadership, but I did learn a lot about how politics. I mean, I went into it truly wanting to serve my community.
Right.
I truly felt that I had the resume based on all that I did. And I was disappointed over and over again with people that I thought I knew. I thought that were my friends for, let's say, 20 years. And I learned that I kept hearing the word pressure. And I didn't understand what that word pressure meant. So I had to ask a few of my fellow supporters. I said, I don't understand. He said, because in business, right? Let's say you're in the concrete business. I'll use that as an example. Business people will threaten other business people with future contracts if you don't vote or endorse the candidate that they want you to endorse. So it was a real learning experience. Yeah, and it was not easy. And
You said disappointments, like
disappointments with people that I thought were my friends in the business community, in other communities that I didn't think twice about helping them. And then I started to realize it's sometimes about optics, but lessons learned for many of us going forward.
What misconception do people have about local government and civic engagement?
Since I did not win in 2023, the current councilman for District 6, Nick Richardson, said, Raj, you don't have to be on the city council to make an impact.
Yeah.
Somebody else told me that. He was our deputy mayor, Matthew Grundy, who has since moved to the Washington, D.C. area. And he said, Raj, I don't have to be the mayor. I can do more behind the scenes. And those were good things for me to hear.
Yeah.
So I think we as citizens and community residents, we can serve on boards.
Yeah.
There are many not-for-profit boards here in Fresno. For me personally, I was young and Rotary taught me how to deal with different types of professionals. People that perhaps when I was younger, I was a little bit afraid of.
Right.
Attorneys or doctors or judges. And that experience is something that really contributes to your future leadership skills, right? One day when you're president of that organization. We can serve on school boards. We can, there are so many ways that we can serve our community. Neighborhood watch as an example. And get to know your council member. You know, so that, because they may have positions available for you when commissions are formed or when new boards are formed. And so you have to let them know that you're interested.
Right.
Yeah, so it doesn't, there are so many opportunities. And when you're on a board, you know, the board might be 20 or 30 people. Think of the number of people, new people that you get to meet on a monthly basis.
That's true.
And all of that interaction with others helps you to be a better community member.
How can everyday citizen become more involved in shaping their communities?
So even if it's small, well, I hate to say small because neighborhood watch, you know, whether you're looking out for your circle or your street, or it might be a little area, that's one way to get to know your neighbors and find out, you know, definitely take care of the seniors that are perhaps living alone. Bring in their trash can. It's simple acts of kindness, that I think we need to get, you know.
Community involvement.
Yeah, back to basics, about being respectful for one another without, you know, during campaign season, there are so many times, like if I wore a red blouse, somebody automatically assumed that I was a Republican. So instead of putting people into boxes of are you a Republican or a Democrat, did you vote for Trump, why don't we just get to be neighborly once again and treat each other with respect?
What leadership qualities do you believe are most needed today?
Relationship building, obviously oral communication, skill set, presentation skill set, and just what I said earlier, being respectful of one another and treating each other as human beings at a local level. That's what we need.
You recently traveled to India. What stood out to you the most during this visit?
What stood out to me? So I went to India after 27 years.
Oh,
and what I noticed, so we spent 4 nights in New Delhi. We spent 3 nights in Chandigarh, 3 nights in Jalandhar. And then we went on to Amritsar and then Dubai. What was striking to me in New Delhi is, first of all, the number of cars, the noise level, the number of people, the modern versus the old, right? There are parts of New Delhi that look amazing. The Aero City area, beautiful. The streets around the embassies are clean, palm trees. I didn't see any garbage. And then when you leave that area, just 2 minutes outside of that, unfortunately, you see a very different picture. You see people on the streets, garbage everywhere. So that was kind of striking because I thought that in 25 years, things would have been a little different. We did the old, we experienced it all. We went down, you know, the old Delhi, Chandni Chowk area where you know the car wouldn't go down, the honking, the dust. But our hotel was in an area called Gurugram, which is supposedly the new Silicon Valley. And coming in, what should have been a 20-25 minute drive on a Friday or Saturday night became a 2-hour drive. And the taxi driver, the Uber driver said, he says, you know, our government had a great idea. Unfortunately, we just don't have the infrastructure for this number of cars. So the weather was great. We thoroughly enjoyed Chandigarh. Jalandhar, of course. The hotel service was off the charts. The exchange rate was amazing for $100 US. I'll round it up to 10,000 rupees. And Uber surprisingly was very, very easy for us to use. Yeah, very easy.
Good. What lessons from India do you think Americans could benefit from?
When I came back, one of the things that I said is I will never, ever complain about my water and garbage bill from the city of Fresno. Things here have a schedule, right? And we pay, and we sometimes, I think, take for granted the services that we have. And that's the benefit of visiting other countries, is to come back and appreciate all that we do have.
Right.
So we have clean roads. We have in schools and in business so many opportunities available to us. All we have to do is focus. And at least we live in a country where through education or through business opportunities, we have an opportunity to grow. And in some countries, that's not an opportunity.
So on the flip side, something that you find that could benefit Americans?
I think Americans and ourselves, as I mentioned earlier, we take for granted what we have. Running water, going to the grocery store to get fresh fruits and vegetables. Taking a shower every day. Again, we live in a country where there is opportunity. You can be a child at a public high school, and if you have it in you, you have the opportunity to attend an Ivy League school. You know, I spent a year in Singapore, and in countries you've got parents that are paying a lot of money because in those countries, a general high school will not provide you with that opportunity. And I don't even know, you know, I've lived in California my whole life, but, you know, we've got 49 other states that, you know, they don't all cost less than what it lives to live in beautiful California. But I have seen quite a few Indians move to other states for opportunities so that they can help their families grow and help their children with that education. But just as I said, an appreciation for clean water.
I think for me it would be the way customer service is here versus India. I always used to think it's the other way around when I visited India, like back 30 years ago. But now when I go there, their customer service is better than Americans.
I would agree with you. And I think the larger hotels that you stay in, and even the hotel that we stayed at in Chandigarh, it was in Mohali, it was a Best Western Plus. The service that we got there was impeccable. In New Delhi, obviously, because they're getting employees from all over the world, the food options were insane. And you know how they have, you know, the chai cart? And I wanted to go get myself or, you know, pick up 2 cups of tea. And he said, no. Give me your table number and I will bring it to you. And I was pleasantly surprised.
Customer service, cleanliness in those hotels. Okay, and the pricing.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it's a good deal. Like, you can actually stay in a hotel in Chandigarh for $150 a night. 5-star hotel. And here, that 5-star is equivalent to 3-star.
I would agree.
So that's something that I
And they're
really
beautiful.
enjoy.
Sorry to cut you off, but they are. The flowers, like you said, the services.
And they're very attentive, the whole staff. You know. So yeah, that's something Americans need to learn. Okay, and the food, like you said. Yeah, food is great over there. And fresh.
Yes.
Did you experience any sickness or anything? Because you went after a long time.
I did, unfortunately. So when we landed in Dubai, which was on a Sunday afternoon, and we stayed at it was a Hyatt in Dubai, and it was a Sunday, and on Monday I started to feel not well, to where I was basically eating bananas and crackers until I got home. So it's unfortunate, but I'm grateful that we made it home, because one day later the Dubai airport was bombed. So we got home just in time.
Saved by the bell.
Yeah, it took me about 9 days for that to pass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Some virus.
And we didn't eat out but sometimes even in a large hotel,
yeah.
because you have all those food options,
right.
Even though the employees wear the gloves, you just don't know how long that food's been sitting out. And
did the trip change your perspective on success, family, and community?
I'm so grateful. Because everyone was asking me, how was it,
Yeah.
And I said to my parents, I said, I'm so grateful that my grandfathers moved to England in the early 60s. A new appreciation for what my parents did for their children back in 1981.
Right.
And now for me, it's, every generation learns something, right? We learn hard work from our grandparents. We learn to save money from our grandparents. We learn through our parents. And now I'm a grandmother, and so now we've learned here that even putting your kids through school has a pathway. Like a child kind of has to work on their resume, whether you're doing extracurricular activities, whether you're in sports, whether you're doing volunteer work, all of that is being looked at by colleges. Whereas when my kids were growing up, it was basically, I want you to go to college. I didn't have that skill set. And now with my grandson, I know how important it is for him to have all of that experience on his kid resume. Yeah, we all learn from one generation to another. I will comment on this. It makes me sad when I see my parents' generation work so hard. And the families that I can speak to. It makes me sad that unfortunately their children, like my children, not take advantage, but perhaps are not aware of the sacrifices. And that's something that I think we as parents and grandparents, we need to be aware of. My children, and it wasn't for the money, my children, when they got out of high school, Rajan worked at Save Mart, my daughter worked at Vaughn's, and it wasn't for the money. I wanted them to know what it's like to work for 8 hours or 4 hours and deal with the public and learn to appreciate what it
Life
takes.
Skills.
Yes, and save money and pay for your gas. But that's the banker in me, right? And I see my son, Liam saves money. It's easy to, give him $100 and say, good job, but save half of it. Because you never know when you're going to need it.
What role does culture and heritage play in staying grounded while pursuing professional success?
It plays a huge role. It plays a huge role. Our upbringing, our surroundings, our culture is known. Our heritage is known to work hard. Right? Work hard. Don't have your hands out for freebies. We're known to work hard. We're known to serve others. We're known to think of God every day. And it's sad. Right now there's something going on in England because we've had a young man stab another young man. And we've seen examples here in California. And so what has taken some of us decades to exemplify our hard work in the community can be shattered by one incident.
That is true.
And that hurts. And it makes me sad. So, you mentioned earlier, and we see some of the same things going on in Punjab, right? Kids, unfortunately, doing drugs, alcoholism.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. But it makes me sad to see young people lose their lives.
Absolutely.
And I know all parents try to do a good job to teach their children, but we live in a society where, especially here, especially in this county, unfortunately, these are things that are going on in middle school and high school.
What was one moment from your trip that left a lasting impression on you?
There were so many wonderful moments.
Yeah.
There was one moment where we were leaving the Golden Temple, Harmandir Sahib, and you know how there's numerous people in their rickshaws to take you back to your hotel.
Yeah.
And there were 3 young gentlemen. They were like, it'll be, let's say, 200 rupees for each of you.
Yeah.
And I looked at them and I go, it's one rickshaw.
Right.
Why? And there was an elderly gentleman, and he was listening.
Yeah.
And he walked over, elderly.
Yeah.
Reminded me of my grandfather. And he said, I'll take you there, let's say, for 160 rupees.
Right.
And the 3 young men laughed at him. I admired his strength, his tenacity, his sales strategy.
Yeah.
And so we went with him, and they started laughing and saying, the old man won't even know where your hotel is. And so we were leaving the next day for Dubai.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about the money. We were going to give him all the rupees that we had.
Right.
And he told us all along the way all the challenges that Punjab was facing. And that was one of the most pleasurable. And I think those 3 young men learned a lesson.
Cockiness doesn't get you anywhere.
No, and you never know who's listening.
Exactly.
Not alone,
Yeah.
you never know who's watching. You never know. And he was standing right there, and I just wanted, because he was so honest.
Right. How do you stay aligned with your values when facing challenges?
There's a wall of fame and there's a wall of shame.
Right.
One of my regional managers told me that because in banking there's sales goals, and he told me, do you want to be, and this is going back to the late 90s, do you want to be on the wall of fame or do you want to be on the wall of shame? So that's a big one.
Yeah.
And then I did make a note on this one, so let me go there. Health is wealth. That's something my dad always tells me, or would tell me even, when health is wealth.
Absolutely.
And so we have to take care of ourselves physically first, right? And mentally. And so that saying of work-life balance, I'm learning, it can't all be work.
Yeah.
It can't all be money. And so you need to have that work-life balance for your family, for your children, for your grandchildren, and for yourself.
Right.
And getting old, my mother-in-law used to say this to me, is not for the faint of heart. Right now I'm watching my parents. Dad is almost 83 and mom is 79.
Yeah.
I'm watching their decline, and it's something that we don't think about because we think it's not going to happen to us.
Right.
We're so busy when we're young, working and raising children and saving money. But then when you're older, you realize all of those things that you think you need, a big house, a fancy car, at the end, none of that really matters, right? We come into this world naked. We're going to leave in a wooden box.
Yep.
So life truly is short. Enjoy it, balance it, enjoy the journey because life is short.
Absolutely. Who has influenced your life the most?
Definitely my grandparents.
Yeah.
Definitely my parents. I think we learn a lot from our siblings. I'm one of 5, and we're all in different places. My younger siblings have younger children, and so we all learn. I learn from you. Yeah. We all learn from each other if we're open.
What daily habits help you stay focused, motivated, and balanced?
So exercise.
Yeah.
Exercise is important. Yeah. Unfortunately, in banking, you had to look a certain way. You had to dress a certain way.
Right.
When you work in the American culture, right, you have to look
Physique
a certain
matters.
way. It does. Dress matters. But now I'm learning, as I said, how important, because some jobs are very, very stressful, and working out helps to eliminate that stress, helps to clear your head, helps to keep your blood pressure down.
Yeah.
Yeah, work-life balance, as I said, physically, mentally, religion, prayers. Life's always going to have ups and downs, always, for everyone.
Right.
And so getting through those down times.
Okay.
High spirits.
Absolutely.
Chardigala.
Chardigala. You said you served in nonprofit organizations. You want to share some of those?
So Rotary is a nonprofit organization, and the bank wanted me to join a service organization, but now looking back, professionally, it helped me grow into a leadership role, so that when I was president in 03, 04, I could stand up on a weekly basis in front of 200 people. From a girl that in England was too afraid to raise her hand. And culturally, we were expected to serve the tea and walk out of the room.
Right.
It certainly helped me mold me, shape me into leadership roles.
That's good.
Not to be afraid. Those are skills that can be learned.
Yeah.
They can be learned.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's hard at first. It's
is.
not easy.
What other organizations?
The Sikh Women's Organization. I was on that board for almost 15 years.
You're still on that board?
No.
Oh, okay.
And I'm an individual that likes to give other people opportunities.
Right.
And most of the organizations that I've served, you're not the president for typically more than 2 years.
Right.
Hopefully, you have a board where you rotate. I'll speak to Rotary about this. You were maybe the community service chair one year. You were the international service chair. You were the incoming president. So that by the time your turn comes to be president, the club, the organization has done a phenomenal job in that you will not fail them. I served on the City of Fresno's Planning Commission. It was very rewarding. That was from 2017. And then I resigned when Mayor Dyer, because again, I wanted to give other people an opportunity. But I learned a lot about Fresno. I learned a lot about people that come to those meetings and they may be so angry or irate about something happening in their backyard. And it's an opportunity for a commissioner to help share the project, listen to the applicant, the opponents, and ask questions. So hopefully when the process is over, that neighbor or resident feels better.
Right.
We all have an opportunity
Absolutely.
to speak for 2 or 3 minutes and be heard. But we have processes, policy and procedures in place that I happen to like.
If you could leave our audience with one message about living a meaningful life, building success, and serving others, what would it be?
Again, life is short.
Yeah.
Plan for it. And what do I mean by that? I mean, everyone should have goals, personal goals, professional goals. Write them down. Write down annually your top 3.
Right.
Keep them somewhere where you can see them, maybe taped onto your laptop or onto a mirror. Review them, perhaps semi-annually. They may change.
Yeah.
Enjoy the journey. And again, enjoy the journey. I did make a note here. It's not the things that matter. So let's be grateful for what we have. Don't compare yourself to others. Everybody's journey is different. Value your health. Plan for getting old too.
Absolutely.
I think that's something that some of us don't think about because it's scary. But it's something my brother said to me recently is you have to think about, where are you going to be in 10 years? And as I said, where do you want to live? Who do you want to be around? Because nobody wants to be a burden to their children.
Right.
And it's a very hard thing watching your parents not be the people that you're used to seeing.
Right.
And just being there and not critiquing them, but just listening to them. Those are things that we're not taught.
Right.
But then all of a sudden we have to experience them, and it's not easy.
No, it's
So we must take care of ourselves
Absolutely.
while we can.
That's
Diet and exercise.
So I say emotional fitness, physical fitness, and financial fitness.
Financial fitness.
These 3 things are very important to plan before retirement.
That's why that 401k,
Yes.
and because Social Security will only take you so
Yeah,
far. And paying
right.
off debt and not living beyond your means.
Right.
get rid of those monthly payments.
Right.
Again, because you're not going to take any of those material things with you. So
Right.
try to live stress-free. I know
Right.
easier said than done,
Yeah.
but live within your means.
Thank you so much for your wisdom.
Thank you for
And
having
thank
me.
you for sharing your trip from India and your
Yes.
experiences.
Yes.
Pleasure having you.
Thank you very much.
Right.